Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I acknowledge that Australia has no greater ally than the United States, and I congratulate President-elect Donald Trump on his election. And this government, like every Australian government, will work with the US President of the day. But I was quite interested to hear the Manager of Opposition Business give a speech that was long on sanctimony but short on self-reflection, Deputy Speaker. Let's not pretend that the Liberal Party were masters of tact in international diplomacy during their decade in power. They were walking around the world offending, abusing and lecturing countries that are Australia's allies and friends. And time after time, they damaged Australia's relationships with their sanctimony on the world stage. So I thought I'd just go through some of the greatest hits of the Liberals in power and their foreign policy. And we've got to start with the first one. Which is their charm offensive on the Pacific, where the Leader of the Opposition endeared himself to everyone in the Pacific by saying about rising sea levels to an open mic.
I've just got a point of order from the member for Wright.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If I could just draw the member's attention back to what the actual MPI is today, where we're speaking about the relationship with America.
And we are a question of relevance. Is that your point of order?
Yes, absolutely, Madam Speaker.
So I am listening carefully. I was thinking of that, although we've had a few people deviating today, but it's the relationship with our key allies, plural. So the Pacific is certainly part of that relationship. The member's not out of order, but I am listening carefully. Thanks.
I'm horrified to hear they don't think the Pacific are our key allies. Well, certainly the Leader of the Opposition didn't think that the Pacific was one of our key allies when he said on an open mic, time doesn't mean anything when you're about to have water lapping at your door. Could you think of anything more offensive? Could you think of anything more calculated to damage the relationship with these important partners? Deputy Speaker, the President of Kiribati criticised the remark as vulgar. He said it was unbecoming of leadership. But to be honest, he was being polite, Deputy Speaker. He was being polite. Much more polite than the Leader of the Opposition. It was boorish, it was vulgar, and importantly, it wasn't very funny. And the serious consequence of this was that Australia lost a lot of support in the Pacific at a crucial time. Deputy Speaker, number two, the second and the greatest hits of the Liberals in power, traipsing around the world, offending everyone they met. In September 2021, the Leader of the Opposition, during a visit to India, made some remarks about China, referred to them as being increasingly coercive, talked about a zero-sum mentality as if he would know, earning a sharp rebuke from China's Foreign Ministry, which labelled his comments extremely dangerous and irresponsible. Let's remember we're talking about Australia's #1 trading partner, with reckless comments shooting from the hip that caused great offence. And who paid the price for this, Deputy Speaker? It wasn't the Leader of the Opposition. It was our farmers, our lobster producers, our wine producers, our barley producers, and importantly the Special Minister of State, Don Farrell, who's now to travel around the world fixing up all these relationships. And credit to him for reopening all of those markets. Number three, Deputy Speaker, who could forget our friends the French? Maybe they're not an ally of ours either. But Scott Morrison, who decided to cancel a $90 billion contract with France for 12 conventional submarines, did it with great tact, Deputy Speaker, great tact, deft diplomacy, by not telling the French and letting them find out in the media. And of course, they were appalled. French Foreign Minister called it a stab in the back. And to make the situation even worse, Morrison lied about it and released text messages from President Macron. President Macron did use great tact. When asked whether Morrison had lied to him, Macron responded, "I don't think he lied, I know." And again, this had serious consequences for Australia in the world. And finally, Deputy Speaker, the final one is India. They talk so much about the importance of India, but when push came to shove, when India was in its moment of need in COVID, what did they do? They implemented a country-specific travel ban. They have never respected Australia's relationships in the world. They did them great damage.